What's going on? A to Z Sports. It's your Titan pregame live. Sam Phelan and Easton Freeze, and we are actually there. We go. Sam Phelan and Easton Freeze now in the right spots, ready for a game between the Tennessee Titans and Los Angeles Chargers. About half an hour from now, that game will kick itself off, and Easton and I are going to break down everything pregame from our X Factors to the big elephant in the room, which is number 8, returning to play quarterback for the Titans today. Going to be a good show. Easton, let's waste no time. Let's get into it. Tell the folks what to do before we get going.
Folks, it's a beautiful day for some football. Not here in Nashville, actually. It's a pretty drowsy, dreary day out there. But it's a great day to watch some ball inside. And like you said, number 8, back in the saddle. God bless. Our memes are back. Interesting football is back. I can't wait to watch what the Titans have in store for us today. And we need you, before we get to that, to help us out by liking the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up for us. Like the show. As always, when it's Sam and I, and the bosses aren't around, they threaten to fire us unless we get to at least 50 likes. So we want to keep our jobs. Help us out. Hit that like button for us, or we won't be here much longer. But appreciate y'all for joining us. Share the link with a friend. Jump into those comments like Gabriel and Terrace and Rico all are. We want to hear you guys' thoughts about what the Titans and Chargers game will look like today as we kick off the show here.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Welcome into the A to Z Sports Titan pregame live, brought to you by our partners. Want to give some love to them before we jump into it today. They're X Golf Nashville and now in Murfreesboro. It's the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee at X Golf. Play, train, and entertain. PlayXGolf.com. BetMGM, log in today to get your pro football boost pack to acquire tokens for more winnings at BetMGM. That's an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. And T-Dots, be part of the solution to end littering and make sure that nobody trashes Tennessee. Visit nobodytrashestennessee.com to find out how you can be part of the solution. All right, Easton, it is game day for what would normally be maybe a game Titans fans aren't super interested in at 2-6, going on the road to play a good Chargers team. But I do believe this is a game with a lot of intrigue for Titans fans right now because it is a game that has Will Levis back playing quarterback. This was the update that you and I got from Brian Callahan at St. Thomas Sports Park on Friday afternoon that said, number 8, back, good to go, and maybe a little bit rusty.
Only designation for this week will be Snead. He'll be out. Everybody else has a pretty good chance of, we'll take it up to game day on a few of them, but most guys have a pretty good shot that were listed. Again, report will come out this afternoon, but don't see anybody else being ruled out, and we'll just wait till Sunday on 1 or 2 of them, but feel pretty good about where we're at. On the injury front, just to save Jim from asking me if the 6th captain will be Sebastian Joseph Day this week, a former Charger. I'll let him be the 6th captain. He's done a great job for us. Other than that, Will start this week. Just let you guys know that now. No reason to wait. Will's going to play. Had a really good week of practice. Feels really good. Best he's looked in a couple of weeks, so excited to see him go play.
Obviously, is just chomping at the bit, as he said, to be out there. Yeah, how's he been through this process of having to sit?
You know, he's been good. I think he learned a little bit about himself in the process. Learned about how to be honest about how your body feels and when fighting through an injury or when trying to fight through something is detrimental to you and the team, as opposed to you helping the team by being out there. There's a line there that guys learn as they get experience, and so that part was good. I mean, I think I learned a lot too in terms of managing that process, but really it's been good for him to have a little patience, you know, and know that it doesn't do us any good if he doesn't feel great and he doesn't feel like he can go play the position the way he needs to, and that part was that was good to see him understand that process.
Are we likely to see maybe a little bit of rust, just the simple fact he hadn't played in the game in a way?
Certainly possible. You know, it's been a couple of weeks since he played, so there could be that. I'm hoping that there's not. But it's, you know, it's realistic to maybe have a little bit before you get back out there. So, again, hopeful not to see much, but would be understanding if there was a little bit.
So the best Will Levis has looked in the past couple of weeks, but obviously some concern for rust. Easton, before we get into our question, I guess on a scale of 1 to 10 for you, how excited are you to watch Will Levis play in this game? Like, am I correct in saying that there's an added level of intrigue with number 8 being back under center?
Absolutely. And from one Facebook user who Facebook stream still broken. Sorry about this, that you're anonymous. If you want to be not anonymous, I guess go over to YouTube and we'll be able to see who is commenting there. But anonymous Facebook user here says Levis has already taken the excitement out of the game before even playing. Could not disagree more. Levis being in this game injects excitement that we have not had for the better part of a month and a half now for the
look,
Titans.
You don't have to be excited, but I do think intrigue is the right word here, because the Titans offense has been building something over the past few weeks with Will Levis on the sideline. And, as good as that was to see, the question was kind of, well, what does it look like when Will Levis is back at quarterback? And I think today we might get an answer of just how swiftly the Titans are able to plug Will Levis back in, and if they're able to pick up with their momentum and look like the offense that Brian Callahan has started to envision for his football team, or if we have another setback against a good Chargers defense. I think there's a lot of questions right now. And we've talked a lot about how, or asked the question of what is Will Levis's path to prove himself for 2025. And it all starts today. It starts right now. There is no more waiting around. Like the now or never will begin in 20 minutes when this ball is kicked off in Los Angeles. And so to me, just as somebody who is invested in this football team and that is interesting. And I'm going to be very, very interested in seeing how Will Levis looks. And
that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm excited, not because I'm sure he's going to be great. I'm excited because I know he's going to be interesting. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good football. It means it's going to be interesting football. And that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, the Titans coaching staff certainly believes a couple of outcomes are possible. It could be a fresh reset for Will Levis where, he's had some opportunities to gain perspective, some chance to learn some things about himself, to grow. And this is the fresh start that he needs, but also rust is a big risk here when he's been sitting on the bench for about a month now and hasn't really played a full football game in a very long time. So let's get it started with the chat. Let's get the chat involved as I ask all of you, what are we more likely to see from Will Levis on Sunday? Rust or a reset? Easton, I'll let you kind of take it away with your answer first while the chat fires off some of theirs.
Sure. I think it's going to largely be a reset. Now, is he going to come out of the gates firing? Probably not. I'm not going to panic if in the first quarter it's real slow and looks disjointed. And I think fans need to have an element of patience with him and with this offense, because there is naturally going to be some rust. And even if he's not himself rusty, the connections that he has, the cohesion of the offense working as a single unit, that might take a second. Now, I don't think that's going to last the whole game. And I think pretty quickly they're going to figure it out. A lot of fans probably say, it's wishful thinking to think he's going to come back and just look completely different than he did in the first half. Yes, but we've seen this happen before. I mean, I watched Bryce Young on my television screen this morning at 9:00 in Germany. Look like a completely different player than he was at the beginning of the year when he got benched by week 4, right? And it's been a couple of games now since he's come back. He's played free. It's a different situation because he was literally benched for play. Levis hurt, but both of them getting some time off after a rough start, getting to come back. We've seen quarterbacks before come back with a different mentality. Just something clicks for them. And maybe it's just that you're playing with house money, because I mean, listen, Will Levis knows that he's got to go big or go home the next 9 games of his NFL career, or he's probably going to be a career backup.
Well,
that's the reality of it, right?
That might be the reality of it. I will say I don't want Will Levis feeling like he has to go big or go home. Yeah. It's kind of like this weird counterintuitive thing where it's like, Will,
go big's the wrong word. Go big's the wrong word.
Well, but you're right. He does have to go big, but the way to go big is not by going big. It's by just going like marginal.
Go efficient or go home.
go like marginal consistently, and then eventually your marginal gains will turn into big.
Go safe or go home.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we asked you guys, rust or reset, what's more likely? I see reset from, a Facebook user here. Again, apologies for all of you guys on Facebook that are now anonymous. Rust. I see reset. Gabriel comes in and says regress, which is, a bit of a hot take from Gabriel, fresh off the presses on the Sunday morning.
As bad as it was, he's going to get worse, apparently.
Regress somehow. Henry says rust. We got reset. Pretty split here. Between the chat, between rust and reset. I am not worried about rust. I can speak for myself.
Okay.
I'm not worried about rust because the Will Levis issues to me were never really all that physical. Like it was the mental issues and some of the decision-making and getting rid of the ball quickly. And I think when you refer to rust, it's like more of a physical error than I think it will be a a mental issue. Like the thing that I want to see Will Levis do today is not make the dumb mistakes and not turn the ball over and be efficient and be safe, as you said. And we've seen with Mason Rudolph now over the past few weeks that when the Titans quarterback does that, they can operate the offense and win football games. And so that's what I want to see from him. I don't think rust will be a factor. I think this is a chance for him to reset. And I think it's more likely that this is a reset game for Will Levis.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think, when we get to our bets here at the end of the show, maybe that's reflected in what we're expecting from Will Levis today. But you want to get to the X factors now?
Yeah, let's go ahead. It's the X Golf X Factor. So let us know in the chat who or what will be the X Golf X Factor for a Titans win over the Chargers today. Who or what will be your X Golf X Factor? Easton's going to have one on defense. I'm going to have one on offense. So let us know what your X Factor is. And again, the X Factor is brought to you by X Golf in Nashville and now in Murfreesboro as well. If I could find it, there it is. Nashville and Murfreesboro, X Golf is reinventing the player experience by creating the most accurate indoor golf simulators on the market today, giving every person the power to take on the world's top courses, compete in a variety of game formats, improve their swing with lessons and superior analytics, all while being totally entertained. I've been to X Golf. I recommend it to basically everybody I meet that's looking for an interactive golf experience in the Nashville area. You can go get a drink at the bar, watch a Monday night football game on the televisions, go play Pebble Beach and just like have some fun with accurate golf simulators that also help you improve your game because they track every little piece of data you could ever want. So you can make swing adjustments in real time. It's the home of indoor golf. It's X Golf Nashville in Murfreesboro and now in, I believe, the Belmead area of Nashville as well. The most accurate indoor golf simulator. Contact X Golf Nashville for package ideas and availability.
All right, we got some X factors in the comments here. Starting us off, Gabriel thinks Tajay Spears return to the gridiron today. He may be the X factor for the Titans. Dat Boy Tree sticking with Tony Pollard. Thinks that Pollard, he's been the best person on offense for this team every single game all year long. So why not again today? Bud Dupree, according to Henry, one of the many misfit Titans that we'll be seeing on the opposite side of the ball today in Chargers uniform. Tony Pollard, special teams. Sam, I don't know how much you've been paying attention to the early slate. It has been special teams nightmares left and right, which bodes well for the Titans. Very consistent, very stable special teams. I'm sure they won't follow suit at all today.
Those Titans are known for their excellent special teams.
That's right. If nothing else, they'll lock it down on teams. Right tackle, Facebook user says, Levis decision-making. Big Hefe is an X factor, according to Like I Said. X factor's got to be Levis, according to Steve, as well as another anonymous Facebook user here. So my X factor today, Sam, on the defensive side of the ball, for the Titans, it's really simple, and it's the most pivotal matchup to me in this game. Titans run defense versus Chargers run offense. Now, usually when we're talking about a defense needing to force the other team to throw the ball, it's alluding to the fact that you're wanting to see the other quarterback beat you because you don't think that they can. That's not the case with Justin Herbert, right? Justin Herbert can and will beat you with his arm. Very good quarterback. But the weapons at his disposal are questionable, limited, in my opinion. And the offensive identity that Jim Harbaugh has installed with his new team, they're built to play kind of that Vrabel ball a little bit. Run the ball down your throat, be physical, beat you up, get up early, and then lean on you the rest of the game, which they have done the majority of this season. And it's why they're 5-3. They've not had to play from behind much at all this year. They've not had to air it out a whole lot this year. I was looking at the stats earlier today, Sam. I think only twice this year, Justin Herbert has had to complete 20 or more passes in a game. So they've not needed him to throw a whole lot. And I think that's the way that they want to operate. Now, the Titans defense, we've made fun of them, Sam, you and I, and pretty much everybody about them being the number one defense in the NFL because statistically, those yards allowed, they don't allow teams to go for much yards between the end zones. Don't pay any attention to how often the teams are getting in the end zone. But those yards, man, they're stopping those yards. The one thing I think they are genuinely really, really good at is run defense. Like they are legitimately a top run defense, in my opinion, in the NFL, especially between the tackles, right? And with J.K. Dobbins and his resurgence on this team, you got Gus the Bus back there again today. I saw he was activated off of IR. If the Titans can stop them from running the ball effectively, it's going to force the Chargers to play differently than they have all year long. And I think that's the key to getting them out of rhythm on the offense.
I like it. I mean, I think we've heard kind of the build up to this week is sort of this idea of two teams who have similar identities on offense when they're both operating how they want to operate, which are those long methodical drives that you discuss. And yeah, outside of not asking Justin Herbert to throw all that much in their better offensive games, the Chargers also are not a team that create a ton of explosive plays, particularly through the air. This is not a Detroit Lions team that is a mismatch with the Titans and just going to generate quick offense by snapping their fingers, and the Titans have to keep pace. The Chargers are going to try and lull you to sleep and then knock you out once you kind of start napping. And the way to stop that is by forcing them into third and longs, by not letting them get into 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 or convert on the ground with, J.K. Dobbins, like you mentioned. I love this X factor. I think it starts with that defensive front. And once again, how much are you able to get into 3rd and 8s and then pin your ears back and go get after the quarterback? I think, if you can do that, you keep your team in the football game at the very least. Mm-hmm. And that is ultimately where I think the Titans need to be, is in the game in a low scoring, slow pace of play sort of football game. But, it gives them a chance to make one play and steal one on the road. On the offensive side of the ball, I have an X factor. And as much as I would love to focus on Tajay Spears, I would love to, highlight some of that stuff that the chat is. I think the chat was on it. It's another player for me. And it is the guy who has 217 receiving yards maybe that number might not be right at all.
It's anecdotally, it's
216 receiving yards. As I do, by the way, have a update just in case anybody's watching around the league. The Denver Broncos had a 34-yard field goal blocked at the horn, and the Chiefs remain unbeaten.
Lucky beats good every day of the week, folks.
Somehow, that's got to be a frustrating one for the Broncos.
That's the Chiefs for you.
That's a heartbreaker. I literally looked up like 4 minutes ago and was like, oh, look at the Broncos. They're about to steal one in Kansas City. And then I looked down and nope. So anyways, my X factor, it's the guy with 216 receiving yards in the last 2 games. It's Calvin Ridley, who has 15 catches for 216 receiving yards on 23 targets. We have seen Mason Rudolph start to develop this rapport and chemistry with Calvin Ridley ever since the Titans traded away DeAndre Hopkins to those Chiefs. Calvin Ridley has really stepped up in this offense. I would love to see that continue with Will Levis at quarterback. One of the things the Titans really didn't do on offense for the first 7 weeks of the season was generate explosive passing plays, was have the ability to flip the field really quick and put themselves in a position to score. And Calvin Ridley gives them the ability to do that when they're getting him involved early and often and using, his speed to create explosives. So get Calvin Ridley the ball. If Will Levis is connecting with Calvin Ridley at the same rate Mason Rudolph was connecting with Calvin Ridley, I think the Titans are poised to put up some points. Maybe it's not 25, 30 points, but I do think you can find yourself getting in the end zone a few times and make this a nice, tight, contested game. You're going to need Ridley to have an impact if you want a shot at beating the Chargers.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is something that I think will be really telling to see whether or not that relationship carries over, which – we spent a lot of the early season when Levis was still in there wondering, when are these guys going to click? Maybe it's today.
All right. Well, let's get into our predictions. We got about 10 minutes before kickoff here. So in the last 10 minutes of the show, I'm going to ask all of you for your prediction. The Titans are +7 on BetMGM, 7-point underdogs against the Chargers. But give us those final score predictions. And if you like the Titans +7, or maybe you're being a little bit more pessimistic, go get involved with BetMGM. BetMGM, use the code ATOZ Sports to get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. So you see it right down there, BetMGM. Bonus code ATOZ Sports. And if this is your first bet, you place it on the Titans +7 maybe. If you lose, that money goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet. The sportsbook born in Vegas and an official partner of the Tennessee Titans is BetMGM.com. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-97 89. Easton, I'll send you to the chat. What are we feeling? Final score predictions for Titans Chargers this afternoon.
Sure. By the way, one side note here, Carrie B asks, do we know who's inactive for the Chargers? Yes, it's out there. Amongst them, Titans legend Christian Fulton, who is out with, you'll never guess, a hamstring injury. It's tough for him. No revenge game for Christian Fulton, as he still has a hamstring. Facebook user says Titans lose 24-17 to the Chargers. Roberto says Titans also lose 17-20. A lot of Titans scoring 17, as you'll notice. Chargers by 14, according to Curtis. 41-17 Chargers. San Diego, according to Facebook user. Get with the times. 24-17 Chargers. Curtis 17 continues, according to Zenzi. Let's see, 35-10 Chargers. Can I find a single Titans win on here? So far, no. Here we go. Titans 24, Chargers 17. There's some optimism. Any more Titans? Titans 23-21. So listen, mostly Chargers scores on here. A lot of Titans scoring 17 and getting stuck. Sam, I'm thinking about mine still. Do you have yours?
I do. I do also unironically have the Titans with 17 points.
Okay.
I will go with a 21-17 win for the Los Angeles Chargers. I like the Titans +7 in this game. I think just it's that slow pace of play that I brought up. If we do see two teams functioning as they would like to, we could see a 2 or 3 possession quarter happening. You could see both teams getting 10 or less possessions in the entire game.
It's a very low total. Total is 40. So a spread that big in a low total game, typically the underdog covers.
Yep, exactly where I'm at. I think it does come right around that 40-point mark. I thought about playing the under. I don't know if I feel good enough about it to do it, but I do think that if the Titans can score a touchdown or two with the limited possessions that are going to be in this game, I think they cover 7. That said, I do have a hard time seeing them win this game, especially with the players that the Chargers are fortunate enough to have active. They have all of their pass rush active, which I do think could end up being a problem for Tennessee. And Justin Herbert, one of the better quarterbacks the Titans have seen all year. They've struggled against good quarterbacks. So I think he'll find a way to get enough points on the board, and the Chargers will overcome what will be a valiant effort for your Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I'll, you know what? Why not? I'll be optimistic just for the sake of optimism. Give me Titans 20-18. Kind of a weird score, kind of a weird game.
20-18.
20-18.
Okay.
It's just what my gut is telling me. I'm going to roll with my gut. I think that the under does hit. I expect this to be a slog of a game. I think that the Titans will get north of 17, but will I be shocked if they don't? Absolutely not. And I'll also be taking the under. 20-18. Give me the Titans. Why not?
Give me one bold prediction for the game, I guess, that you have.
Is it bold to say that NWI scores his 5th consecutive touchdown? Because I've already bet.
At this point, it should be minus money.
It's not. It's plus 500. So, I've already got a couple shekels on that one right there.
Plus 500.
NWI anytime touchdown.
Is just crazy. Another side bet, if you're looking for a bet, my pick of the day is Will Levis with over 200 passing yards in the game. I just think the money is too good there. It's plus 155 on that line on BetMGM for 200 passing yards. Mason Rudolph went over 200 yards in each of the last 3 games. I know those are different quarterbacks, but I do think it shows that the Titans offense, even when they're running the ball and they're making a priority of running the ball, have found a way to move the ball efficiently through the air. And I think the emergence of Calvin Ridley has helped with that in a big way. In 6 of their 8 games this year, the Chargers have allowed opposing quarterbacks to go over 200 yards as well. I like the idea of Levis over 200. Is it possible that he is still kind of injured and absolutely lays an egg? Absolutely. But for plus 155, I'm all over that in this game. I like that a lot.
So I already said that I'm betting NWI. I know folks have been following along with my my AI program-based bets. We've hit 7 of the 8 that I've given out in the past 2 weeks. We've been parlaying them, but at this clip, I'd suggest just taking the singles and then sprinkling on the parlay for all 4 to hit. So here they are today. And again, you can take these individually or parlay them. I got Will Levis over 184.5 passing yards. So with you there, just taking the pure over-under there on Levis over. Tony Pollard over 60.5 rushing yards. I believe he's gone over that in 6 of the last 7, if I'm not mistaken. J.K. Dobbins over 14.5 reception yards. Another thing that he has done consistently this year. And then Justin Herbert, as we've been saying on the show here, folks, have been bet with me, the most inefficient market in all of NFL props this season. is the quarterback rushing over. They have hit at a clip unlike any other category. Give me Justin Herbert over 7.5 rushing yards.
Oh, 7.5. I'm going to run onto BetMGM.
Go grab that while you can.
Game 7.5 is crazy. The Titans gave up 100 rushing yards to Drake May. So I'm like,
so one more time for you there. Levis over 184.5 passing yards. Tony Pollard over 60.5 rushing yards. J.K. Dobbins over 14.5 receiving yards. And Justin Herbert over 7.5 rushing yards. Go parlay those together, and we'll see if we can hit and get to 2 of 3 on those parlays this week.
All right. Well, game is just a couple of minutes away, so go ahead and get to your televisions. That's all for us on the pregame show here. Easton and I will be back at halftime to recap the first half of Titans at Chargers. Tighten up. We'll see you guys in about an hour and a half as soon as the game goes to halftime.